Hello and thank you for joining in this step-by-step video setup guide in which we are setting up our Godaddy domain with G Suite following Google's best recommended practices. In the last video we signed up our Godaddy domain with G Suite. In this video we will take the step further and verify our domain ownership to Google, so Google allows us to start using its G Suite services including Gmail, Google Drive, Hangouts, and so on. Google wants to make sure that no one is abusing its system, and that's why it puts a requirement that you should first verify to Google that you own that specific domain, and then it will start allowing sending and receiving emails via that domain. So for that, if you have been watching the previous video, we were on this screen when we ended up last video. So we will click on manual setup and start the process. But just in case if you're straight away jumping to verify your Godaddy domain without watching the previous videos, then what you can do is you will simply go to admin.google.com, which is the login URL for your administration console, and you will type in the address by which you signed up for G Suite, and you will enter your password and you will be landing to your G Suite admin console. Because you haven't finished the setup yet, Google will show you kind of pop-up which says start setup now, and you will be clicking on that. It will ask you to verify your domain name, but in our case let's go back to this screen where we are, and we will be clicking on manual setup. Now Google will give us some information such as we can add 10 maximum users before we add the billing, and we should have some knowledge to attempt manual setup, which we have. So we'll simply click on go to admin console, and let me put the password, oops, and then I'll be landing the same screen which we just showed in case if you're coming straight away to this video. So you will be clicking on setup, and then you will be clicking on verify this domain. Now Google identified based on our public DNS records that we have this domain with Godaddy, and it can take us to Godaddy and it will ask you to put our ID and password and do the verification. But for us, I would say let's not do that because it usually takes more time than the manual setup. So let's say no, and in the domain providers here we will choose other, which is at the bottom, and I'll say begin verification. Now Google will give me some manual options here. So I will click on add a txt because that is the simplest method. So you will copy this txt record, and Google is asking you to create a record in your DNS which points to this value, so that Google knows that it's you who owns that domain. So for that you will go to Godaddy, you will go to my products, and under my products you will be landing to your domains, and under domains pick the domains for which you're doing this setup. In my case that's the only one, and then I will click on DNS. Depending on at what time you're watching this video, the interface might change, but essentially what you need to do is come to your DNS management for the domain for which you want to do the setup and click on add new record, and from the type you will select txt record. Host name will be @ and the txt value should be the value which we copied from our G Suite admin console, and we will paste it here and click on save. Now essentially what we did is we created the record as per Google's instructions, and now we can come back here and ask Google to verify this public record. So when I click on verify, it was very quick, which is good, and then I will click on continue. So for now, to wrap this video, now we have the Google or G Suite signed up for our Godaddy domain. We have also verified our domain ownership. In the next video we will go ahead and set up email services so that you can start receiving emails on your recently created G Suite mailboxes. So stay tuned.